So this is something I saw today. Apparently, there's a new patent. Take a look at this.
Have you ever thought about becoming an NPC?
Yes.
No. We're not talking about those NPCs. No. We're talking about these NPCs.
That's Miz.
Okay, well, I'll be hanging around the arena grounds if you need someone to worship the ground you walk on. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Activision Blizzard has a patent that could have major implications for the future of video games. This patent, approved on June 20th, 2023, is entitled Systems and Methods for Generating Improved Non-Player Characters. This patent details a system in which non-playable characters, or as we know them, NPCs, are refined using artificial intelligence trained on real player behavior and data.
Isn't this fucking badass? This is insane.
Mr. Five, tell us how you feel.
How do I feel? I feel alive!
Oh, wow!
For the longest time, those NPCs would act something like this.
Where's the blood from? It yours?
I'm 100% sure it's not ours. Maybe the intruders?
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's probably still going to have this problem, but it will pretend to be a real person.
But with advancements in machine learning happening at such a rapid pace, they could soon be acting like this.
We're thrilled to showcase an immersive and dynamic interaction between a player Kai and a non-playable character named Jin.
Hey Jin, how are you?
Unfortunately, not so good.
Uh-oh.
How come?
I am worried about the crime around here. It's gotten bad lately.
The patent was filed by Activision in late 2019, but was just approved in June of 2023.
Oh, wow.
It details how AI tracks and correlates player behavior with game outcomes, responses from other players, and even the degree of player engagement. This data is then used to create or modify NPCs who can then be ported across various games.
Well, you see, Blizzard already kind of did this with the solo, sorry, not solo queue, fucking, what was it called? The Arathi Basin against the bots, the Comp Stomp, where you get to play against bot players. So this is clearly something that they were trying to do a long time ago. And, like, obviously having AI to where, like, you can have machine learning for what is the most optimized pattern of inputs that's going to cause, you know, a character to be the most efficient. The more data that you have for that, obviously, the better you're going to have. Warfronts, exactly. Comstomp bots were unironically really good, though. Ooh, I don't know about that. Anyway, but, yeah, I think that this is obviously what companies would want to do.
Or hosted on one or more servers. Now, in order to use this player data, Activision Blizzard has to collect this information.
Right.
If you'd like to read Activision Blizzard's privacy policy, I will include a link in the description of this video.
I've got a pretty good feeling that it's included in the privacy policy. I could just pretty much about bet that.
Hold up, here it is right here. By clicking agree, you are also acknowledging that Apple may sew your mouth to the butthole of another iTunes user.
Now, this isn't the only...
That's probably in the... Yeah, that's probably true.
...only area that Activision Blizzard has expressed interest in using AI either. This New York Times article outlines how Blizzard Diffusion, a cheeky reference to Stable Diffusion, could possibly help developers generate game assets and NPCs as well. To
Well,
quote
of course that's what they're going to do. Why do you think, well, like, of course they're going to do this? Because it's a useful tool that allows them to make content faster. It's optimization. Yeah, duh.
The article, quote, the internal email about Blizzard Diffusion said it was being used to help generate concept art for game environments, as well as characters and their outfits. It also mentioned possible tools for autonomous, intelligent in-game NPCs, procedurally assisted level design, and AI-assisted voice cloning, game coding, and anti-toxicity. However, Activision Blizzard is far from the only company in the AI NPC conversation.
Oh, every game is going to have this. Guys, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Every fucking game is going to have some form of AI where like the NPCs are interacting with you and they have lifelike components to them. 100% it's going to be lit. Yeah. Well, because it's a more immersive and it's a better experience and it's more comprehensive. So it's just common sense that they're going to try to do this. I think this is great personally because it makes the games better. I mean, like, I don't even know why somebody would be unhappy about this. I think it's going to make the games a lot better. Now, it doesn't mean that well, actually, whenever I say every single game, I don't mean every single game. Actually, now, let me just go back and fucking clarify that. There will always be games that this is not the case for. However, I think it will become more and more common. Could the AI be to stop min-maxing? Well, I don't know. I can't wait for AI-powered Baldur's Gate 4. Yeah, there you go. I'm not excited for the testing phase of 5 years where the tech plays like shit. Well, how about the testing phase of right now of 10 years where the tech is played like shit? I don't really see the difference, personally. But yeah, some fuckers will cry on Twitter, or our jobs, writers will lose jobs. Fucking, well, the thing is, like, listen, if the game is better, like, ultimately, whenever you say the customer is always right, it means the customer as a collective. And if you deliver a better product, the customer will expect that better product. It doesn't matter which person at the company who it's at the expense of. If you're delivering a better product, people are going to want that better product. It's literally that simple. So yeah, I think that that's what's going to happen with a lot of these things. On to code, Mr. Writer, oh wait. Well, no, the thing is that, like, again, I've said many times, nobody is entitled to a job. I think that people should have a universal basic income, but it is not up to a company whose primary responsibility is to create a product and produce money and revenue. It should not be the company's responsibility to keep people's jobs on life support whenever they have been, outdated by some other way. This is just, it's a backwards way of looking at things. How is it the company's responsibility? It's fucking government's responsibility. Look at the government, not the company. That's what I think. Anyway, the point is that whenever you have technology like this, like, imagine if you could play with a character that was an AI waifu in a video game and she was your companion for the game and she was hot. I think for a lot of people that would improve their gaming experience. It would improve their gaming experience tremendously. So, and that's what really matters, right? I mean, at the end of the day.
My favorite snacks is something like,
donuts.
This will take a long time to have it
NVIDIA recently stunned with its demo of NVIDIA Ace and its AI capabilities.
To evolve all players, for example.
Man, I'm so sorry.
It's real-time mind change. Oh my god. Okay, let's go and see what happens.
Yeah, let's try it.
It might still be kind of because it's in the same session. It's in the same session. I'm not sure it will completely change. It usually changes in a new session, but let's try.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
What's this?
Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
What are your favorite snacks?
My favorite snacks are donuts. Any questions about these?
Wow. Oh, there you go.
No way.
Wow.
But as these machine learning algorithms and models strive to create more human-like interactions, will there be a human cost associated with it?
Yes. Absolutely. There will 100% be a human cost. Oh, this is still going on.
Some game developers have already expressed concern that AI's impact will have on the gaming industry. While the tools might streamline some of the process, others say it's hard enough to get into the gaming industry as it is.
Oh my god!
I don't see why that, like, I think that people that have that perspective are so self-centered, and not in a bad way. It's just a lack of awareness. Is that you do not exist at this company because, it's like you deserve a job. You exist at this company because you serve a function. And if that function does not exist, neither do you. That's just how it is. And at the end of the day, you have the consumer is the one that makes that decision. It's actually not the company, and it's not the employee. The consumer makes that decision. They say, this is a better product, we're going to buy this product. And whenever the consumer makes that decision, that the better product is the one that is made with a different system that could be less ethical, well, I don't know. Let's see how Nike and Adidas are doing. Oh, wow. I bet they're making millions of dollars, billions of dollars, because the consumer doesn't care. The only thing that matters is the end user and the end product. And anything that makes that end user or end product like more disappointing or more like shitty, that's going to, the free market will remove that over time. It will be removed. You see Adidas is going to sell its Yeezys. What a surprise. So yeah, if you want to guarantee the security of your job, make yourself invaluable to the company. Well, I'm just saying that the point is you're talking about a capitalist model that includes the consumer, when really the capitalist model we have now sees the consumer as serfs and entities that are there to increase their profit. The consumer is a serf and the consumer is an entity. But even Caesar realized that you need bread and circuses. And guess what? I bet the bread and circuses at the Colosseum were the best bread and circuses in town. And that's why people went there, and that's why he was the fucking emperor. That's the point. Like, I understand what you're saying, but people are going, like, it's just simply the companies that are willing to do things that will increase the quality of the product will be the ones that will succeed. It's like, what are we talking about? It's common sense. Companies will be replaced too. I mean, maybe we'll see what happens. So in essence, you're quite right. I think so. So long as there's a demand, people will always supply it. Yeah. And then as soon as one company, because this is the thing, right? Every single company has a fiduciary responsibility to the consumer. If you don't understand this, publicly traded company, the responsibility of the board of directors is to make sure to deliver, like make money for the shareholders. That's like, it's ironic, right? Because the company actually doesn't exist to serve the customer, but serving the customer is usually the way that the company exists to serve its main function, which is making money for the shareholder. So if the shareholder, well, think about it like this, right? If you have stock in Activision Blizzard, and let's say your stock, you bought stock at $50. This AI technology comes out, and Blizzard doesn't use it. And then let's say EA does use it, or Capcom uses it, or Square Enix uses it, and Square Enix's fucking stocks go up, and then Blizzard stocks go down because people aren't going to buy a product that's inferior. Well, guess what's going to happen? Well, the people that were making the decisions not to go in that direction will be removed, and then people will be replaced. Those people will be replaced with people that will make the decisions, because that's how every single company works. Or not every single company, excuse me. Almost every single publicly traded company. Yeah, it's a free market. Yeah, they have to. Shareholder responsibility. Yeah, that's the fiduciary responsibility. Yeah. People buy inferior products all the time. Your assumption is that the consumer is intelligent and educated. No, it's not. My assumption is that the value added by using this technology improves the consumer's experience. The consumer does not have to be intelligent or educated in order to have an experience that is superior. There's no education that's needed. If you see content that you're having fun with, that's all you need to see. It's literally a face value vibe check. And if the face value vibe check of an AI waifu is better than something that's coded in there, you're going to have AI waifus and not things that are coded or hard-coded. That's just how it is. That's the point I'm making. Consumer doesn't know what's good for them anyway, so it's all a moot point. Consumer doesn't know what's good for them anyway. I think that's, I agree and I disagree. I disagree in this circumstance.
God, we're having a fire sale. Oh, the burning! It burns me! Evacuate all the school children! Ah!
In any case, once the line is blurred, will the gaming community at large even care?
No.
Would defeating an AI indistinguishable from a human player not feel as satisfying in the long run?
I don't know. I think so. I think that PvP games against other players will have a certain level of, like, it will always feel special.
And how would you feel about an AI?
Because, like, people get a lot of satisfaction out of clearing Elden Ring or killing Dark Souls, right? Clearing Dark Souls. And, like, that's just a computer, right? Whether it's a, like, I think really the difference is person or not person. And, yeah.
Learned how you played to imbue a program with the essence of you.
I understand what I'm made of, how I'm coded, but I do not
Do you imagine? Think about the ego check of all the people who think that all I need to do is have an AI version of 19 other me's in a raid and will one-shot every boss. Imagine the ego destruction that it would cause if they're able to make AI versions of themselves for 20 players and they still can't kill the boss. Now it's really nobody else's fault, you know? It's the fucking AI is messed up or something.
Understand the things that I feel. Are they real?
I asked these questions to begin a dialogue. What do you think? Would you like to be able to interact with NPCs that could understand you and hold a legitimate conversation? Or is nothing worth the value of your privacy? Let me know in the comments what you think and what you'd like me to do.
Clearly, I mean, you've already signed away your privacy by playing the game. What privacy are we talking about?
A video on next. Until next time, I've been Labot, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.
This is the same guy that made the video the other day about that dude at Microsoft. It was a really good video. He made another one and got linked to me today. I'll give it a like and link it to you guys. Makes really great videos that are, what's the word for it? Topical. Topical. There you go. What job, in your opinion, will be removed because of AI in the game dev industry? I think that environmental design and art will be minimized, because in the same way that like Photoshop has tools that allow you to like multiply efforts, so too does AI and different types of like machine learning algorithms that, like, you know, for example, Unreal 5 has. So like whenever it's easier for you to generate an infinite landscape and then just add in personal touches here and there, that takes a lot less effort than having to design and program every single blade of grass and every single tree or root. So I think that's probably one thing that'll happen a lot quicker than you'd imagine. But I'm not sure what else is going to happen. I don't know. Remove any busy work will help actual artists. Oh, I think so too. I definitely think so. I think that people should look at AI as a tool and not a replacement mechanism, which will result in smaller game dev teams, a rise in amount of individual teams, or both. Yeah. Well, look at what's happened already with Unreal 5 and these other types of like easier to do game design softwares. And like how people can like have AI and like these different tools help them write code. I think that's been good, because now you have even more people who are able to be creative and make games, and this is better for, again, the consumer. And that's what and this, I think, is the true essence of the idea that the customer is always right. Not, you know, Karen getting mad at a Starbucks employee, or somebody getting upset about taking, you know, oh, I'm returning this after 3 years. It's a hot dog, you know? The problem is we still assume everybody needs a job. Yes, I think that's a massive problem. Terminator is going to start with AI being teabagged in game. Yeah, it's 100% less creative. It's 100% less creative. Is AI fundamentally less creative? No, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I think that it's very weird for people to... It's so weird for people to make sweeping judgments like that whenever AI has only been in the public space for, like, what, 3 or 5 years? Like, in the current form that it's in now, where people are using it and creating technology with it? I mean, what was video games 3 or 5 years into, like, its inception? Probably not very good. So 1 year, yeah. I mean, it's very, very, very short period of time. AI has public, about 2 years. I was kind of using Microsoft Tay as like the benchmark, but I think that actually even happened more than 5 years ago. But you're right. It's like saying Unreal Engine makes you less creative. It just makes you better at games, not being less creative. Yeah. That's like saying a director is less creative than a 3D designer because he has less hands-on work. I think there's a lot of ways that you can look at it. I'm a concept artist, and for us, AI can be useful for mass idea generation, but at the end of the day, you still need to handpick and paint over the design over what's generated. Yeah, and I think that's good. Again, AI probably should be used as a tool rather than just like a one-to-one replacement. But I think this is going to be a very, very interesting few years with gaming. I'm going to link that right there. Again, it's a great video. Make sure to give it a like if you enjoyed it. The AI talk is the same one with the robots 50 years ago. Yeah, It's not really AI, but you're simply right that it's a tool. Yeah. That's why union organization legislation is important, to make sure that it's used appropriately and not a cheap attempt to replace actual talent. I don't think that that's... I think it's just a completely... Like, I don't know, man. I think it's just such a wrong-headed mindset. I think it's such a bad mindset to put the responsibility on these companies to keep jobs on life support rather than putting the responsibility on the government to keep their people from starving. Like, I think that's where people should look for responsibility. Like, stop looking for Warner Brothers to fucking be responsible for your job. It should be the government that's doing it. The government's what does your fucking roads. They do the schools. They do everything else. Why is it that somehow Warner Brothers is responsible for getting your job? Yeah, do you feel bad for fucking horseshoe makers? Yeah, great example. Yeah, like, it just... The world changes, man. Governments are fucking useless. Oh, and companies are much better, right? Legislation is needed. You're agreeing with me? I agree that legislation is needed. I just don't agree that the legislation is needed to force the companies to keep people's jobs on life support. I think the legislation is needed for the government to make sure that people are able to have a living wage even whenever they don't have employment. I think that we're moving towards a world where employment can no longer be a guarantee for adults, and it will become more that case every single year. And I think the longer that people deny it, the worse the transition is going to be. So that's what I think. I could talk about this forever, but that's really what I think.